In every town, there's a house no one dares to enter. For years, rumours swirled about the abandoned Blackwood House, a decaying Victorian mansion at the edge of the woods. Some say it was cursed, others claim it was haunted. But when a group of friends decided to explore its secrets, they uncovered a terror they would never forget. This is the story of Blackwood House, a horror that lives on in whispers, nightmares, and an unforgettable video found online. Hi, and welcome to Horror Radio, your own channel. Tonight, I'm here with another true story. If you're ready to dive into fear and darkness, stay with me until the end of the video. When Liam, Sarah, Jake, and Emily stumbled upon the Blackwood House, they had been searching for local ghost stories to record for their YouTube channel. They weren't just thrill seekers, they were skeptics, convinced that any haunting could be debunked. So when locals warned them against visiting Blackwood, they shrugged it off as another baseless legend. The house loomed over them as they approached, tall, dark, with windows shattered like glass teeth, and ivy crawling up the walls as if to hold it together. The door creaked as they entered, sending a chill down each of their spines. But they ignored the shivers and continued forward, their camera rolling, documenting every step for their channel. The air inside was thick with dust and rot. Every room was dark, the floors creaking beneath their feet. But as they ventured deeper, they began to notice things that made them question their disbelief. In the dining room, an old portrait hung on the wall, a woman with pale, haunting eyes that seemed to follow them. "It's just a trick of the light," Jake muttered, but even he looked nervous. Then they heard it, a faint sound, like whispering coming from upstairs. "Let's split up and see what we can find," Liam suggested, his voice trembling, though he tried to hide it. The others reluctantly agreed, fanning out into separate rooms. Sarah entered the master bedroom, its air cold and stale, her flashlight illuminating a strange, rust-coloured stain on the floor. She felt a prickling on the back of her neck as if someone were watching her. Turning quickly, she saw no one, but she couldn't shake the feeling. In her pocket, her phone buzzed, texts from her friends saying they had all felt something too. Each of them felt the same eyes watching them, just out of sight. Then, Liam heard Emily scream from down the hall. Racing toward her, he found her standing in the hallway, pale and frozen, pointing at a message scrawled on the wall. "Get out now!" They decided to leave, the fear now overpowering their curiosity. But as they turned to go, they heard footsteps behind them. Not just one set, but many. Shadowy figures seemed to flicker in the dark, drifting closer, their faces twisted with agony. The friends ran, but the doors they'd entered were gone. No matter where they turned, they found themselves back in the same hallway, faced with the same menacing figures. With rising panic, they realized that each door they opened only led them deeper into the house, into rooms they hadn't seen before. Rooms filled with symbols carved into the walls, candles burnt down to stubs, and mirrors reflecting someone else. Finally, as all hope began to fade, Liam threw himself against a window, shattering it. They scrambled through, cutting themselves as they fell to the ground below. They didn't stop running until they were back at their car, gasping and shaking, too terrified to speak. But when they looked back, the house was gone. The place where it had stood was just an empty lot, covered in overgrown weeds. Days later, when they reviewed their footage, they noticed something strange. In the background, just out of focus, a dark figure appeared in almost every frame. Watching them, following them, always one step behind. To this day, none of them can explain what happened inside Blackwood House. Was it a hallucination, a prank gone wrong, or something far darker? All they know is that they'll never go near that place again. If you're ever near the edge of town and see an empty, eerie lot, think twice before stepping inside. And if you're curious to see the footage, watch it at your own risk. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you want more real-life horror stories. And remember, some doors are best left closed.